The League of Extraordinary Losers. Academy Award-winning director Steven Spielberg wasn't accepted to his dream film schools. Five-time NBA MVP Michael Jordan didn't make his high school varsity basketball team at first. Lady Gaga was let go from her original record label. And Beyonce? As a kid, Beyonce lost a major talent competition on national TV. The League of Extraordinary Losers. Sounds harsh? Then you're thinking about failure all wrong. And it could cost you. Here are the new research proven secret to success that involves a whole lot of messing up first by Jessica Press. Once upon a time, there was a young boy in Wilmington, North Carolina, who loved basketball. As a high school sophomore, he didn't make the varsity team. So he spent his time on JV working his butt off, sometimes scoring as many as 40 points per game. Still, as his years playing basketball went on, he missed more than 9,000 shots. He lost almost 300 games. 26 times his team relied on him to make a game-winning basket, and he missed. That boy, his name was Michael Jordan. And while you probably don't need us to tell you what happened to him, it bears repeating. He became arguably the greatest professional basketball player in history. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, Jordan has said in one of his many Nike commercials, and that is why I succeed. Yes, we know. To say failure is a key ingredient to success sounds counterintuitive. Common sense and an endless stream of flashy success stories from athletes and celebrities may have you thinking that those who always succeed are the ones who move ahead. Failure, on the other hand, is to be feared and avoided at all costs. The truth is, more and more research is proving that perfection is not only overrated, but also misunderstood. Making mistakes is inevitable and good for you. Instead of focusing on failure, you need to focus on the opportunity it presents, suggests psychologist Madeline Levine, author of The Price of Privilege. She and other experts agree. This simple shift in thinking has the power to change the entire course of your future. Generation Perfection. To understand why you might fear failure so much, it's helpful to take a look back to your grade school days. As early as kindergarten, many students are thrust into a gold star culture, where a very narrow definition of achievement is rewarded over and over. My second grade teacher called my mom in for a meeting because I like to draw hands on my lowercase r's, remembers Mary Lou Lopez, the Choices art director. I felt bad about it at the time, but now I realize I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just being myself, an artist. Maybe your school even stamped some kids with labels like gifted and honors, words that put extra emphasis on certain skills over others, and made you feel if you weren't smart or talented already, you would never be. These labels can motivate some students to strive for perfection at all costs, say experts, and discourage them from trying things at which they might not excel. This all or nothing mindset exists on much larger level in middle school and high school too. Only instead of stars, you've trained to strive for straight A's and a perfect resume of extracurricular activities for your college application. Some parents end up magnifying the stress you may be under to get it right. Throw social media into the mix, and it's no wonder you may feel a crushing pressure to live up to unrealistic standards of perfection. In school, in your social life, in everything, right now. Think about it. Everyone's posting the most fabulous events of their life, explains Amanda Mintzner, a psychologist at Child Mind Institute, without the backstories. The science of grit. So, what's so bad about deep seated desire to get everything right or quit trying? Well, experts say that when you're afraid of failing, you could start making decisions for the wrong reasons. You may choose the safe path, think playing soccer for the 10th season, rather than pursuing what truly satisfies and excites you, say a budding interest in music, just because you may stink at something new, at least at first. But the consequences are bigger and broader than simply missing out on pursuing a new passion for guitar or violin. You could also avoid developing what psychologist Angela Duckworth calls grit. In several studies, Duckworth has found that the single most important factor when it comes to lifelong achievement is not talent or intellect, as those grade school era labels may make you believe. It's grit, aka stick-to-itiveness. Grit is passion and perseverance for long-term goals, Duckworth explains on her website. That's correct. What matters most when you come to improving, whether it's your basketball shot, your conversational Spanish, or that one pesky problem on your math homework, is learning from your mistakes and having the desire to keep on trying until you get it right. TV, movies, history books all show and tell the polished outcomes of highly accomplished people, not the painstaking process of how they got there. From rink to runway, Oprah was actually fired from her first TV news job before becoming a talk show pioneer. Milton Hershey may have hit the jackpot with his chocolate company, but only after his first two attempts at a candy business failed. Failing up. Perhaps no group has embraced this mistake making mindset more passionately than today's leaders in the ever changing field of technology. In fact, these visionaries have their very own name for grit. They call it failing up and operate under the notion that a failed app or website isn't a failure at all. It's just an opportunity to build something bigger and better the next time using what they've learned. Take, for example, Evan Williams. Back in 2005, he co developed a podcasting company called Odeo. It never really took off, but instead of giving up, he tried again and became the co founder of one of the biggest tech success stories of all time, Twitter. Surprise? There are actually hundreds of eventual success stories like Williamson's. Tech leaders even gather through the world on 6 different continents for one-day conferences called failcons. Sometimes things just don't go as planned, the Failcon website says, but that doesn't mean you should stop trying. Failure is still a taboo topic all over the world, but we're working to change that. While Failcon is surely an inspiring experience, you don't have to attend a fancy event to learn from your mistakes or setbacks. Jessica Leahy, author of The Gift of Failure, recommends this smart strategy for shifting your mindset. Try as often as possible to think about the process over the product, she explains. The process of learning or getting better at soccer or piano is far more important than some end result out there, like a test score or one recital. Leahy and other experts agree. As comfortable as it can be in the moment, we need to mess up or have our plans derailed. That's how we grow. That's how we prepare for life. That's how we build grit. And perhaps most important, that's how we figure out what we truly love. Two paths. To understand this fully, let's consider young Michael Jordan again and put ourselves in his size 13 shoes. Remember, this is before he had his very own line of highly coveted Nikes. If you're Jordan, this setback in high school gives you the chance to reflect. What else might I like other than basketball? Is this sport my dream, or can I do something else, like try out for the play? Take this pivot approach, which we'll call Path A, and you may end up with the lead role in the crucible rather than a season's worth of sulking. Jordan himself, however, chose Path B. He decided to double down on hard work, using his true love of the sport to power through long practices on the JV court. This is because he enjoyed the process just as much as the product, shooting just as much as scoring, playing just as much as winning. Neither path indicates a failure. Neither path is guaranteed to lead to any one outcome. Both are wide open opportunities that give you grit, which perfectly defines your brand new definition of success. How to fail up? Seeing my grades drop rapidly last year was hard, but it made me realize I was taking on too much. I still keep busy, but I've learned to set aside time for schoolwork and friends. That way I'm not overwhelmed. Starting in second grade, I ran for class office each semester and lost every single time. By fifth grade, I had learned that losing isn't that bad. So why not go big? I ran for president that year and won. Now I know I can achieve anything, even if it doesn't happen right away. I failed my breaking boards pre-test in Taekwondo, but I didn't give up. I even signed up for extra lessons. Looking back, all that hard work was just as rewarding as eventually passing the test. How to fail up. Disappointed in your final grade? Bummed about your performance? Try this. Sit with your feelings. It's okay to be mad, hurt, embarrassed, angry. It's pretty unrealistic to try to instantly move on. But when you're ready, reflect. Ask yourself, why didn't I get the outcome I wanted? Think of the factors like studying or practicing that could possibly be under your control next time. Set a goal. Do you want to practice more? Ask for help next time? Shift gears to a new sport or hobby? Take a different class? Come up with a plan? And number 4, act. Get going on your new goal. And if you don't reach it, start this process again, knowing that you're learning from it and building up grit.